Welcome back to Talk of the Town. With me now is Medical Art Prosthetics. This is Greg Gion. He's the owner. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Stacy.
So now, what is facial and somatic prosthetics?
Well, facial and somatic prosthetics is really a collection of procedures that we use to make prosthetics for people that need a prosthesis for their face, whether it's an eye or a nose or an ear. So they're actually prosthetic devices that are for people that might have had a surgery, might have had cancer, and they've had surgery to remove a nose or an ear or their orbit, or they might have been in an auto accident, or a lot of children are born without an ear. So we specialize in making these devices for these people that need a facial prosthesis. And then somatic prosthesis just refers to any other part of the body. So typical somatic prostheses are considered like breast prosthetics or fingers or arms or toes. But generally these don't include what people think of as traditional orthotics and prosthetics, like prosthetic limbs, arms and legs.
So is it a medical field then?
Well, it's really not. It's the people that are involved in facial and somatic prosthetics are generally not doctors. We're considered prosthetists or anaplastologists. So we get referrals from physicians for these various types of prosthetics, but it's really not contained within the typical medical field.
So how do you attach these, like an ear, for instance? Or are they all different? How does that work?
Well, traditionally, facial prosthetics, for instance, were attached with medical adhesives. So if somebody needed to attach their silicone nose prosthesis, they'd apply a medical adhesive to the back of the prosthesis and then put it in place. For a number of years now, we've been providing more and more implant-retained prosthetics, which involves a surgical procedure to place implants in the bone. And I have some examples here I could kind of show you.
I'd love to see them.
I don't have a lot of examples, but this kind of quickly demonstrates, I don't know if that would show up on the camera, but if there's implants placed in the patient's face, then the prosthesis can attach with magnets. So it's a way of getting away from adhesives, but still both methods are used commonly.
So how did you get into doing this work? What kind of training or certification did you have to do to be able to do this?
Well, in my case, I went to school on a fine arts scholarship first, and then I went into medical illustration or medical art. And as part of the program that I was in to be trained as a medical artist, I was trained in a maxillofacial prosthetics clinic at a university where I learned specifically how to design and fabricate and fit these devices. And it was a special program conceived by a very forward-thinking dentist that realized that people that were traditional artists and trained in a medical setting but had those artistic skills would do a really good job of making prosthetics that needed to blend into the face. So I went into that training program, and that was in 1981 that I graduated from that. And then I worked at several universities in staff positions, and then I went into private practice. So there's a lot of different experiences.
So how long have you been in private practice then?
I've been in private practice 30 years, actually. I started at my first practice in Dallas, Texas in 1985. And that was kind of a very unique, actually kind of the first independent specialty practice in facial prosthetics in the country. And then 20 years later, my family moved back to the Midwest. I'm actually from Madison originally. And so in 2005, I began another clinic in Madison. So total of 30 years.
And who else works with you on doing all of this?
Well, in Madison, I work pretty much exclusively. It's my own practice, but we've tried to maintain some sort of integrity with the office in Dallas, with the woman I sold my practice to in Dallas, Allison Vest. She's a wonderful medical artist, very talented person. And then there are other medical artists formerly trained with master's degrees that I work with in California and in New York.
Well, thanks so much, Greg. This was really fascinating to learn about something new today.
Thanks.
Sure, thanks.
Appreciate it.
And you stay tuned. We'll have more coming up right after this.